Wyding and W9 ver ham radio. Yeah,
it's probably a ham radio, WNVER ham radio. Maybe you say it because it's like a call sign or something. I don't know how ham radio stuff works.
Ham? Is there ham radio?
Yeah, it's like a meat with pigs and sandwiches.
And they have radio?
She's not very old. It's the same.
Okay.
It's the internet before the internet.
Okay, well, these two people actually asked about our round the world trip and how much it costs and what items and information we prepared for it.
The cost is really difficult to say because it's so every person is going to travel differently, and every country has different costs, and then like the time that you go is going to be different because like airplane fares change like during different times of the year, and currency rates fluctuate. It's like everybody wants to, how much does it cost? Well, it can cost a lot. It can cost a really small amount. It's usually less than what people think it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can go to like Thailand or something, and you can live like per person on less than $10 a day. Like that's like with food and a place to stay. Now, if you want to go do more expensive activities and stuff, the price goes up. Or if you want to look for things you can do for free, you can usually find things to do for free. Long distances on like buses and stuff can add up. I mean, you can spend $30 to go all the way across the country, but you can also spend a couple dollars a day just to jump from town to town. So it really, really depends. Like we like to rent motorbikes, that adds to the cost. Some people might want to rent cars in certain countries, that would be more expensive. Like, it's really, really difficult to say. But like places like Japan, you can spend $100 a day traveling in Japan if you're doing it cheaply. Like that's a cheap trip, $100 a day in Japan, where like I said, Thailand was like $10 a day. India can be even cheaper, it can be $5 a day in India. So it really depends.
I think our advice on how much money you should probably get together to have an epic adventure that lasts for a while, I'd say you'd need $40,000 or more, $40,000 or more.
That's for two people.
That's for two people.
Yeah, like you could, if you had $15,000 in your bank account and you wanted to travel cheap and pick your countries accurately, you could do a round the world trip on $15,000 probably. But it would be shorter than what we did. We traveled for 14 months, you'd probably travel for 8 or 9 months. But I mean, yeah, I mean, we spent less than $40,000 for the both of us, but like when we were in Japan, we were here for 5 weeks, it was $5,000 like after like all said and done. So like, if we hadn't come to Japan, it would have been significantly cheaper. If we hadn't gone to Israel, it would have been significantly cheaper. So, but we went to places like, we were in the neighborhood, it's like you can't not go, you know, you want to go see these things at least once. We didn't know we were gonna move to Japan, so we came here and we dumped all the money into it. But like, if you just stuck to places like India and like places in Southeast Asia and like South America and stuff, you can travel really, really cheap, way cheaper than people think. But you have to be willing to have crappy accommodations and ride on local transport and eat food stalls type food, which to us is all excellent. It's all the best ways to do things. But some people aren't down with that. So it depends on the person a lot. So if that gives you an idea. And I honestly don't know exactly what it costs for our trip. I just kind of ballpark it in my head. We didn't really track, and maybe at some point we had a better estimation. Maybe it was like 32K or something. 32, 35, that seems somewhere in that ballpark, but again, it's like, I don't really know right now, like off the top of my head.
But we left with more than that because we wanted to have a safety net when we came home.
Yeah, we had money when we came home. Like we came home, not when we were out of money, but when we were ready to go home.
Yeah, when we were out of us.
Yeah.
We came home. You also asked about items and information that helped prepare. Information that helped prepare was definitely documentaries. Definitely anyone going out and doing it themselves. We did get some books that helped us prepare our bags and helped us prepare mentally, knowing that someone else had done this before.
We found a couple of YouTube users that had traveled, that had made some not extensive, but like videos that explained a bit of what to expect and what they were taking with them while they traveled and stuff. So that helped us out a lot. But a lot of it was just logic. Like we'd look at the situation and be like, okay, what should work here? And sometimes we were wrong, but sometimes we were right. I mean, it really doesn't matter. Just go and do it. It's not that hard.
And do get some advice about what to pack in your bags.
Yeah, don't bring too much. Most people bring too much.
If we hadn't read up and thought about it and taken a really good chunk of time to know we're going to be carrying this on our backs almost every day, that really helped looking at other people's stuff, seeing what they had, and deciding whether we needed it or not. And we went pretty bare bones, and I would advise that.
Yeah, don't carry it. Don't carry huge bags and tons of weight and a bunch of gear. It would be a pain. It would really impede on the fun. We always used to see people with really big bags, and I always wanted to know what was in their bag. What's in there? You got more than me. What do you got? You got more than both of us. Maybe. Some people did have more than both of our bags together. They must be really strong. Larissa Bonham Paulette. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. It's got all these like dots over all the letters and stuff. I don't know what's going on with that.
All the umlaut.
Kato66, Nathan Cunliffe, Life, Mark Casey, and Sam Mino all asked questions basically about the Japanese language and how do you overcome the language barrier, how much we study, how fluent we are, is it difficult? It's super difficult. Coming from like an English background, Japanese is extraordinarily difficult. And there's a lot of reasons why. I'm not going to get into all of them. I could talk for hours about it because I study a bit. I study daily, but not intently. And I'm at a point where I can read a lot better than I can like speak or hear, like understand verbally, which is really backwards because the written system is part of what makes everything so extraordinarily difficult. So I need to really work on like conversation skills and stuff, and that is just oddly more difficult to find somebody to help you with than you would think it is. We don't have a lot of people, all of our friends who are Japanese, they speak English so much better than our Japanese. It makes it difficult to like, just say, hey, we're gonna talk Japanese now because this is such a hassle and you don't want to put like your friends through the hassle of training you. So I really should find like a class or something that I can take, and I've been lazy about it, and I really should just push forward and do it, and I think it would help a lot.
Let's make you feel worse.
Like my reading comprehension is actually not terrible. I can understand a lot of what I'm looking at. And if I hear people talking, a lot of times I can get a gist of what the conversation is about, or like if I'm ordering food or something, I mean, that's no problem. Like things I actually have to do all the time is fine, but it's nowhere near conversational. And was that the whole question? Like how much time do I practice? Probably an hour or so a day, and I like religiously actually do it every day. Some days I spend more time, sometimes I spend less time. And it's mostly just vocabulary and grammar stuff. So I need to work on listening. And yeah, so is it difficult to overcome the language barrier? Yes, but so many people speak English at a reasonable level. It's not super important. It's not like you can't function without it. If we have to go to the doctor or something, it helps to have somebody come with us. But if I'm going to the dentist, I went to the dentist and like I can talk enough Japanese, speak enough Japanese, and he can speak enough English, we can find that middle ground and make a connection. But if I had to go for something serious, I'd want somebody to come help me with that because it would be scary. How about you, Katie?
Okay, well, I don't study at all. I know pleasantries. I can get into situations. I can't get out of them, but I can get into them. Sometimes I basically would just use short Japanese that I know, or I'll try to help get somebody to help me or something like that. But for the most part, I work in an English school. I hang out with a lot of people who speak English, so it really isn't a problem. But I do notice that I go outside and I don't really talk that much because I can't. So I think that if you do come, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and do some Japanese learning. I had some bad experiences when I got here that were really overwhelming, and that just shut me down, and I didn't want to. So maybe start learning before you come, or do your best to learn some at home before you go and try and converse with other people, because it can be really overwhelming like it was for me.
Yeah, and I mean, we moved here on like a 2 or 3 week notice. Neither of us learned any Japanese at all. We knew nothing when we came. So like, if you had the opportunity to take classes or something and get like the basics down before you came here, it would be so beneficial. It would be amazingly beneficial.
LH47YT, if that spells out something, I have no idea what it is, asks, how popular or unpopular is Western music in Japan? Do you catch yourselves listening to J-pop since moving there? For Western music, we are at a car dealership and they were just playing Miley Cyrus's newest song. Western pop music is big here. Korean pop music is big here. Pop music in general is big here. Do we listen to J-pop? Not much. We listen to really, really popular and dirty songs in J-pop.
We know enough to go to karaoke and have fun.
Yeah.
That's about it. We have like 5 or 6 songs, but there's a lot of Western songs there too that you can just sing instead.
Yeah.
What about, you have your friend at work listens to a lot of like underground music. Like we do know Japanese people that listen to like underground music, or like there's a big punk scene here in Tokyo and actually all of Japan that exists, and it's Japanese, but it's still like Japanese take on Western punk. So like there is still like there's Western style music here in that sense. If you look at our channel and search our channel for, I think it's like if you search for the word punk, you will come up with a punk festival that I went to last year, and I made a video about it, and that'll give you some insight into that if you're interested.
Jim Goff asks, Japanese food versus Chinese food?
In Japan, Japanese food. In America, Chinese food, but just because there's not a bunch of diverse Japanese food from where like the area we're from. So that's how I go.
Right now for me, Chinese food. I'm on a Chinese food kick. We found a really good restaurant, so I've been enjoying going there. But I'm pretty sure like next week it'll be Japanese food. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Japanese food overall is really good. MW2 Quick Scooper 55.
Do you scoop ice cream?
Hope so.
It better not be poop.
Will you ever do breakfast meals videos? Yes, but you're only gonna see me order a McGriddle, because that's the only thing I'll order for breakfast. Is that boring, or is that really exciting? Because it's really exciting for me.
It's just a McGriddle.
Also, will you ever do videos of all the fast food places in Japan? I would say
probably not. I personally kind of think that the videos at fast food restaurants are boring. I don't think they're exciting. I'd much rather make videos like when we went to Mount Fuji, or when we went to Taiwan, or like adventure videos. Those are more fun to me.
On the other hand, I enjoy those everyday videos, but I'm not gonna say we're gonna go to every fast food place, because the only reasons we go to fast food places are because they present something interesting to us.
Yeah.
If they're not presenting something interesting, I'm not gonna shoot a video because you're gonna be bored. So I'm all for it. I'm all for going to them. Eric, not that excited about it, but
I think they're okay every once in a while, but I don't want to just turn into like the fast food guys.
yeah, if there's something interesting, we would totally go. If there's not something interesting, we'll probably shoot something else that's interesting.
Or ideally, we'll go to a fast food restaurant during a video that's like a bigger adventure. To me,
Yeah.
that's the best way to go about it.
That's a good point. Maybe. Odie's Mom 2012 asks, do you guys prefer traditional soaking tubs? And by that, I think she means tubs in Japan, which are short, like lengthwise. Your legs wouldn't lay out all the way, but it's quite tall. So it could go up to your shoulders and you could soak in it, but you'd have to bend your knees. Or Western style lounging baths. And I like them all.
I don't fit in any of them.
Yeah, so this is not a good question for him.
I'm not a bath guy.
I like both of them. Sometimes I like to have my legs out and just sit like that, but other times I don't mind having, I like having the water go all the way up to my shoulders. So you provide me with any bath, I'll be happy.
Is there any more to that question? Where would you be your preferred spot to settle down and retire if you ever lose the wanderlust, is the other half of her question. What would you say?
Thailand.
Thailand's too hot. Oh my gosh.
Sweden.
Yeah, does money count? If money doesn't matter, then maybe Thailand or something, but if money matters, then Thailand, because it's so cheap, but
if money doesn't
matter, I don't know, probably someplace in Europe or someplace like romantic like that, I don't know, like the mountains of Switzerland or something.
What?
I don't know. I know nothing about Switzerland, but it sounds nice, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Central Africa.
Good flag. Good flag.
Maybe Central Africa?
No, we're not going to Central Africa. Andrea Avengiano.
There's a guy squiggly over the end.
There's a squiggly over the end, and I really like that sound, but I don't know how to do it anymore. How did you, and K-E and...
It looks like Katie and Eric, but there's missing letters. And
yeah.
This person, I know your name, you comment every time, and I'm like, what am I, wait, that looks familiar, but it's not me.
We just think you're super fans.
K-E-A-N-Drick.
And Jenny Johnson all kind of asked, how did we decide we were going to travel the world? How did we know it was the right time? What inspired us to do this? And what made you guys decide to do it? I'm going to start with how I decided. And I decided because he wanted to go. He came up to me one day with a map, and he had pinpointed all the places that he wanted to go with one of our friends, and was just like, this is something I want to do. And he asked me if I'd go and do it with him. Hello. And I told him that I would. And then I tried to keep my composure while it actually happened. So, how did you decide? What inspired you?
This is actually kind of weird. I watched Ewan McGregor and Charlie Borman had a trip that they did around the world on motorcycles called Long Way Round.
Long Way Round, Long Way Down.
Yeah, Long Way Round was the first one. And I watched it, and I wasn't like, oh, I want to do that. But I watched it, and I realized, shit, it's possible to go do something like that. It just clicked. And I've been working at the same job. It was a good job. I'd just been working there for like 8 or 9 years or something, and I was just bored. And I just thought, like, why can't we just go do this? So, like, within a couple days of thinking about it, I went out and got that map and put all these pins in it, and then told her that she should probably go with me. And she was cool with it. And then it was now.
And you asked about what made it the right time? That's a really interesting question to me, because when we thought it was the right time, it turned out not to be the right time. We tried more than once to start this journey. We moved in with my parents at one point, and we couldn't get rid of our house, and we ended up having to move back into the house because we couldn't get rid of it. So there was a failed attempt to make this work. There was a failed attempt to start this journey. But
it ended up working out better because then we had more time to save more money.
And we ended up saving more money. That was probably a year.
Yeah.
A year. We moved in with my parents, and we moved back, and we stayed for another year, starting to think like, this isn't going to happen.
We didn't live with their parents all this time. We lived with their parents for a couple weeks or something the first time, and like a couple weeks the second time or something.
And then the house didn't sell, so we were just like, okay, we'll move back in. Waited another year to see if we could make this work. Slowly, like, motivation was kind of like, and then things just clicked a year later, and it worked out. So sometimes it's not going to work that first time. And you know what? You're going to have people that are like, oh, it didn't work that first time, I guess that you're not going to do that anymore.
And part of the problem the first time is we weren't as committed as we should have been to getting rid of things. Like, we didn't like put our foot down and just start getting rid of everything. We were more picky about it, and we were like, oh, we don't need this, or we could keep this, and blah, blah, blah. And the second time we were like, screw it, get rid of everything.
Screw it, everything's gone.
Yeah.
That first time, we weren't as committed as we should have been.
Yeah.
And this kind of rolls into an idea. Somebody had written the question, and I don't have it on this stack of paper. I'm really sorry, whoever you are. You thought of a really good question, and that was, how did you deal with people who didn't think you could do it, or just thought that this was some crock that you had thought up and you weren't going to go through with it? For the most part, we ignored those people, and we realized who cared about us, and who motivated us, and who supported us. And one of the hardest things for me was watching how my mom couldn't deal with this, and how her not being able to deal with this mentally, me leaving the country and not coming back, made it so that she wasn't as supportive as she could have been. That was pretty hard on our relationship, I think. And I think she's gotten over the fact that I'm not in the country anymore. I hope that she has. But at that moment when we were making this decision, it was hard for her, and I know it was hard for her mentally to do it, and some of the actions that she had just weren't supportive, and I had to ignore them. And in some ways, I had to point them out or really, really ignore them.
most people weren't like, most people just were indifferent, or they were just like, whatever, or oh, that sounds cool. Maybe in the back of their head they were like, yeah, right. But most people did. It wasn't a big problem or anything. We have, the people around us aren't jerks or anything.
I guess the big thing here is focus on the people who are motivating you, and focus on the good parts of the people who are around you that you care about that might not really be ready for it in their life. Find the good things. Tracy Huang, I think that's right. What has been your favorite Western fast food experience outside of McDonald's for a non-Western country?
That's a
conundrum right there.
So I think she's talking about a Western restaurant in a non-Western country. What is your favorite?
That isn't McDonald's.
That isn't McDonald's.
And I think our favorite when we were in Southeast Asia was Swenson's. And it's not food, it's ice cream.
They have
I think they have some food.
Yeah, but we always got ice cream.
But there's definitely ice cream there, and it was so good. I mean, we ate so much Swenson's when we were in Thailand.
I want some right now.
I do too.
And I also think about Wendy's in Japan a couple years ago had a lobster burger, and the absurdity of that, just something about that I really like.
Yeah.
The absurdity of a lobster burger.
Little Livy X asks, where are your favorite and least favorite countries to visit if you had to choose? And we choose all the time. Favorite? Your turn?
Thailand.
Japan.
Hong Kong.
Oman.
Taiwan.
Korea. Okay, there's the list for
Indonesia.
favorite.
I liked it. She didn't. It's exciting.
Okay, least favorite.
China.
India. What, you loved it? You loved it? You loved losing weight? You were so sick?
I feel weird judging those countries like that, but I mean, they were difficult experiences for us. Let's see, anything else? I think Laos was a little boring, but it wasn't terrible or anything. It was
Indonesia was difficult.
Indonesia was difficult, but it was rewarding difficult.
True.
I don't know. Let's see, America was fun. Let's see, where else have we been? I went to Estonia when I was a teenager and it was really cool. I really liked Estonia, and I went to Russia when I was a teenager as well, and that was a pretty cool experience.
Kyojin Krista 2 said she wants to know, I think she's a she, if Thailand is a safe place for a young woman to travel alone. And I guess this is kind of a me question since I'm a lady. I would say that Thailand is okay for a woman to travel alone, but I wouldn't feel very comfortable going outside in some of the areas, specifically Bangkok, late at night. In comparison to Japan, I'll walk the streets all night. Not in a hookerish way.
You're a streetwalker, girl.
There's no problem here. Thailand, I wouldn't feel that way. Egypt, I would definitely not feel that way at night, and I think that maybe in Egypt, I just wanted to talk about other countries that gave me this feeling that it was a little worrisome for a woman alone. Egypt might be a place that could be overwhelming as a woman traveling alone during the day in some places, especially highly touristed places. Also, I think that India could be very intimidating for a woman alone.
I think that, like, yeah, certain countries, like, a woman alone, you'd probably be better going with a buddy, like another girl, or if you had a male friend that went with, that would be fine as well. But if you had another girl and there were two of you, it would change the game a lot, and you'd be able to get away with, like, feeling comfortable in a lot of these places. But there's places like Japan and Korea, and even China for the most part, and
I never
Taiwan.
worried about being hurt in China as a woman or
Yeah,
anything
Hong
like
Kong,
that.
Macau, the whole, like, East Asian area is a little safer feeling than it is when you get into, like, the Middle East and stuff.
And maybe what you could do is go to a bunch of places that people consider to be safe for women, and then dive into places that might be a little
more shady.
Yeah. So, there you are.
All right, we're now in a convenience store and we are having dinner. But the reason is because the battery in the camera is dying again and we need to charge it. So we found a power plug in the convenience store we can use, and we're gonna have dinner. But we have a question we can do too.
Sam Mino asked, are you planning on continuing your epic adventure around the world? Yeah, we're living it every day. Yeah, we're definitely planning on going to more countries. As you've seen, we went to Taiwan, but now that we actually have jobs, it's going to be kind of slow going.
Yeah.
We're hoping to save up enough money to continue and go on another trip. that's more extended. So that is the plan.
But maybe she'll have a baby and we won't. Who knows?
Elad said, do you want to see the whole world?
I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible.
It's not. And anybody that's like, because every once in a while you see people are like, oh, I went to every country. They went for like 5 minutes. Like, you can't see it. It's too big. It's not possible. You can't live long enough.
That's not our goal. Our goal is just to go.
Yeah, and to have fun and to have an adventure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's certain places I want to see, but I mean, I don't want it.
And Jiro Vao Craft asked, how is our lifestyle financially possible? We don't spend a lot of money. We're eating at a convenience store.
Again.
Yeah. We're just really cheap. You've probably picked that up by now.
We're a bit frugal.
Yeah.
And with that, I'll show you what I'm having for dinner. So I got a bento. And this bento is like a Hamburg type thing here. And it's just got like kind of like a Swedish sauce thing on it. Yeah, Hamburg. And then this is chicken, and this is like some sort of ooze that I like. I don't know what it's called. And then there's a little tiny bit of pasta, and there's a little bit of tiny like pickled vegetables type things, and rice. And this was 550 yen, so it's a bit expensive. It's like $5.50. And then I also got a apple yogurt, and it literally has little pieces of apple inside of it. Oh, I lost it. Here we go. So you can see like there's little pieces of apple. And then I also got, this is not a common thing I do, but I got an alcoholic drink, and it's 4% alcohol, so it's not very much. But the reason I got it is because it has nashi in it, which is like Japanese pears, and I love anything with nashi in it, so I thought I'd give it a go. And it's pretty good, actually.
He's gonna be drunk really soon.
Yeah, 4%, 1 can. I'm gonna be like asleep on the road in like 20 minutes.
Do you think I should show how to make soba from convenience store, or is that too much time?
The battery light is not blinking anymore. We charged it for a couple minutes, so maybe you have time. Okay,
so soba comes with soba noodles, onions, wasabi.
Yes, wasabi.
Wasabi, nori, which is seaweed, and it also comes with
whatever type of sauce they put in soba.
the sauce.
Yeah, what is this? Soba tsuyu.
Usually it comes with water.
Yeah, usually there's a water.
And you take the water and you go over the noodles kind of to freshen them up. This one didn't come with water. That was the fun part to show you. It's over. It's not fun anymore.
So basically she's just gonna put this and some wasabi into this cup, add the vegetables if she wants, and then dip the noodles cold into the concoction.
Yeah, no water.
Yeah, usually, yeah, it's a bummer, man. No water to pour in your noodles, what are you gonna do?
Have less fresh noodles.
Kyojin Krista 2 says, Eric, a bowl and a water tank. What happened? This must have been mentioned one time in one of our videos at some point, and this person has like pulled this out of their memory banks, and that's another thing that I find fascinating. Why does somebody else know about this? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what happened. When I was in like between the ages of like 8 and 11-ish, I lived on a farm. Like my family owned a farm. And we had a lot of like pigs and cattle and goats and sheep and chickens and peacocks and potbelly pigs.
And peacocks?
All sorts of things, yeah. So at one point we were okay, so I need to draw this, okay? So I'm gonna take this piece of paper. And so there was a fenced in area that was like this, okay? And there was a big trailer, okay? Right here, like this. And inside the trailer was a bull. Is that what a bull looks like? If he has horns up like this? No, that's a goat. Okay, this is my bull.
It's a fearsome goat bull.
Okay.
This is excellent work.
There we go, there's my bull. I don't even know what I drew. Okay, and then there's a fence that comes down like this, and then there is a fence that ran like this. Right here, there's a water tank. Right here, there's a giant water trough, so like what animals drink out of, like a big, deep tank. Like, it's like maybe 5 foot this direction. Okay, and it's like 3 feet deep. Okay, and this fence comes like this, and the bull needs to go this way. Okay, so my dad is gonna open this thing, and the bull is gonna run out and in theory go this way. But the problem is this fence ends right here, okay? So my dad tells me, I'm 10 years old, to stand right here. And he's like, just wave your arms, it'll be cool. So he's like, wave your arms around, right? So when this bull comes out, he'll see me, get scared, and go this way. So the problem is that the bull, instead of running this way, saw me raising my arms and ran this way. And he put his head like on my stomach area, and then picked me completely up and threw me into the water trough that had water in it, and then kind of like climbed through the water trough, stomping inside of it, and then stumbled out of it and ran off this direction. And I came out completely fine. It was like, I didn't get hurt at all, but it was really shocking. It's like huge animal. Like I was really, really like small and young and fragile, and probably should have killed me, but I got lucky. So that's the story.
Martin with a Y, I like that. McNamara, which I also like that because we used to live on McNamara Road Street.
McNamara Drive, yeah.
McNamara Drive. If you could rate the happiness from home in comparison to Japan or anywhere else, where have you felt the happiest? That's a difficult question. I mean, when I lived at home, I had happy times and I had unhappy times, and I've lived in Japan, I've had happy times and I've had unhappy times. And both have had pronounced happy times and pronounced unhappy times. I'd say even.
Yeah, it's more about like what you're doing with your life than it is like where you're at. I think that a country can make you unhappy. If you go someplace and it's terrible and it's just not you, it can make you unhappy. But I don't think a country can make you happy. I think a country can provide framework in which you can then build a life in which you're happy. And you're not always gonna be happy. You're gonna have times where you're bummed out. And that's just how it is. So I don't know, like there's certain parts of me that are really happy about Japan, but certain parts of me that were really happy about living in America. There's really parts of me that were happy about traveling, and there are parts of me that were never happy when we were in China. So we talk.
Share that feeling.
We talk some shit about China, all right?
I would say that the happiest that I felt was during the American road trip, during the round the world trip. That's the happiest I think I've been in my life. Was those 2 months riding around in the car, and I don't think it was because of America, but I do think it was because there wasn't a language barrier and everything was easy to understand.
After we had traveled for so long outside of America.
Not understanding things, not being able to communicate, and that was taken away, that stress was stripped away, and that stress is fun. So don't think that that's like a negative thing, but that stress was taken away, and then we were given all this freedom with an automobile that nobody cared about because it was mine.
And we had we took the experience that we'd learned traveling around the world, and we got to take it to America and use it. So like we were good at traveling, and when we went back, we took a month where we basically didn't stay together for a month just to like decompress away from each other a little bit because we were so tied to each other for so long. And then we got to hang out again all of a sudden and go travel across the states. So I think there's a lot of reasons why that was so much fun. Like it's just like a perfect like conglomeration of things that happened that made that a good time.
So you got your answer. That was the happiest. It's good stuff. Watch the road trip. Very nice. Rebecca, I don't know if it's Vic or Vitch. I don't know which one. How do you guys think of teamwork in terms of traveling and experiencing unknown places? Before we left, we didn't really know how we were gonna divvy up any work. We didn't know there would be work. There's definitely work to traveling. But the pieces kind of just fell into place. I'm not organized physically, but mentally I need to be organized. So I would read over our guidebooks and go over anything that I could find and mentally process it, and then we would go out and do things. And Eric's really good at driving and making sure we don't die. So he was in charge of survival. I think to me, navigating and figuring out where we were going to go was my biggest job throughout our travels. What do you think your biggest job was?
Picking the destinations.
Yes, that's true.
Like I would be like, oh, this country looks fun, and then we would go, and then she would figure out what to do when we got there.
See, because if I was going to decide what country we were going to do, I would have to get like 17 countries, research all of them, and then make my choice. It would take forever. But he picks the country, and then I do the dirty work inside the country. And that's the way that it works really well for us.
And then like when we were traveling, I would edit video and stuff while she was going over like books and stuff to figure out where we were going next. So like we were both busy the whole time with different types of things. So it worked out pretty good.
Yeah. And just teamwork in general, I guess. I don't know. Do you feel like we're a team?
You're always here, man.
You're always here. Great. We still kind of do things like that where I do what I'm good at, he does what he's good at.
For instance, I had an idea like, hey, maybe for our 5,000 subscribers, we should do a question and answer video. And then we made it happen. And then we got the information. And then
Everybody wrote their questions.
She went through and like categorized everything and made it so that it would be digestible in a way that we could like go through and answer things.
I mentally processed it, and he came up with the video concept of walking around and just kind of having different backgrounds the entire time and just walking to a different place and not sitting inside at the table.
And I'm probably gonna end up doing the editing on this, which is gonna take forever. And
he's been talking to me about teaching me how to edit, which this does not work for our teamwork situation.
Well, I can play video games while she can edit the videos. Makes perfect sense.
If I never learn how to edit videos, I never have to edit videos.
She recently learned how to edit the website though, so she can update the webpage and stuff.
So all the changes you see on the website, me.
I built it though. So there you go, I came up with the idea and the structure, and now you maintain.
I do the grunt work.
You do.
I'm really good at grunt work.
I don't like grunt work.
SkippyXG wrote, how difficult/easy do you find it to strike a balance between enjoying the moment and recording the moment? And I've started to feel like there's no balance anymore. Anything that is worth enjoying in a recorded format. Something that I'll get to enjoy in the future and something that other people get to enjoy through the video. So the amount of enjoyment that could be made from that video increases the enjoyment I have of it at the moment.
And I think a lot of people have a perception that like when you travel you don't want to like live through the lens and constantly be looking through the lens, but that's not how we do this. Like some people you'll see, they'll be hauling around like massive camera gear and they're like constantly trying to find the perfect shot and like move things around, adjust lighting and do all those things. We don't, we very, very rarely even think about it. Like sometimes we're like, oh, this light might be bad, let's turn. And that's it. Like we don't look for things. We only shoot when something is like interesting to us or something, or we think something is funny or whatever, or there's something to be said. And like it doesn't like throw us off track. Like it's just natural. We just do it. So it doesn't hinder us at all, I don't think.
I don't ever think like, oh, maybe if I record this I won't enjoy it as much. I don't think that way at all.
No.
And the one balance that I made earlier, we got a salad before our chicken salad, or before our chicken sandwich, and Eric was like, well, do you want to wait to eat the salad before, until the sandwiches come out? And I was like, I'm hungry, I don't care. That's the balance. If the balance is this going to cause me not to feel well or cause me to do something that doesn't make me happy, to record it in a different way? If it makes me not feel good, I'm not going to record it.
So she just skipped making the video so she could eat and feel
better. You
better.
didn't get to see that salad. I ate it.
Yeah, so, but I mean like when we're out doing things and stuff, this isn't a hindrance at all. Like, I don't know, I guess that's how I can say about it.
I feel there's really no balance anymore. Record it.
Yeah.
Erased My Giraffe asked, who wears the pants? And J. Debbie Fry said, this should be a fan participation question, and I most certainly agree. So, in the comments below, please write, Eric wears the pants, or Katie wears the pants, and we'll see who wins the pants. And that's the last video for right now. That's the last question. And we're at our final destination, which is Hard Off and Off House. I'm trying to look for a Halloween costume.